So I want to take the opportunity to show you how we can look at historic data from the USGS to figure out a little bit more about recurrence intervals and floods and how you know when you have a 100-year storm or a 100-year flood, sorry, or something that happens a little bit more frequently. So I'm going to go back to show you guys how to access this data. I'm actually going to go back to one of the Sandy River sites, the one downstream of campus in Mercer. And when we get to the main page for this site, this is where we came before, and we scrolled all the way down and we looked at the discharge, which hasn't done too much since last time. But we're going to come back up, and in this top box here, where it says current and historic observations, we're actually going to scroll down the list and click on something called peak stream flow. So when you do this, it brings up a new page, and the first thing that it shows you is this really useful chart. And each of these blue dots is basically a flood event, a peak stream flow, the highest flow for that year on here. And so when you look at this one for the Sandy River, you can see that a lot of them are grouped between sort of 5,000 and 20,000 CFS. And then there are a few really outstandingly large events. You notice there's also a little bit of a break in the record here. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I'm asking you, when you're looking at this chart, to answer some questions about this chart and the distribution of the values on here. One of the questions is, does it look like this is trending up over time? Is it staying about the same, or is it trending down over time? The other question that I'm asking you is to look at the actual numbers themselves. And the easiest way to do that is to go up here and click on table. And this is a really useful function. They've updated this, so now what appears is an interactive table that you can use, and you can see the water year that they're using, the actual date of the flow, and you'll notice that in Maine, a lot of these are springtime flows associated with snowmelt, the height of that, and then the discharge that's associated with that. We're interested in using this table to look at some recurrence intervals. So to do that, you just need to click on the arrows on the streamflow side, and you saw as I clicked through, it actually reorganized them. And so now they're organized from the top ranked, the number one flow at just over 51,000, going all the way down. So you can see this would be the number one event, the number two event. This one would be an M equals 3 event if we were going to put it into our recurrence interval equation and try and figure out the recurrence interval for that magnitude event. So this is a pretty useful feature on here, and it means that for the kinds of questions that I'm asking you for the homework, you don't actually need to download the data. You can just use this interactive table to reorder things.